Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about medical astrology and Pluto. I'm going to be talking about the body parts that Pluto can correspond with in astrology, and also physical issues that can be tied in with this planet. Now, the thing first off, as far as body parts go, well, Pluto is associated with the bladder, the colon, the reproductive system, prostate, sexual organs, also the endocrine system, excretory system. Also, too, some words that can be associated with Pluto that may be tied into one's, physical situation and health. First off, is you're talking about death. It is the planet associated with death. I've seen many instances when somebody's had their the Pluto contacting their sun, conjunct transit Pluto conjunct the sun, or the ascendant, or even in a progressed chart where Pluto's on the ascendant, you're going to have issues. I mean, that could increase the propensity for death. Remember that Pluto is associated with death and obliteration, destruction. The sun is about life in astrology, and also you're talking about the ascendant is our vitality and energy, and also you're looking as well. Pluto can also be connected with compulsive and obsessive behavior. If Pluto is very strongly afflicted in one's chart and makes a lot of adverse aspects, this person that has person may express a very, it could be obsessive, fixated, compulsive behavior. If somebody has this, like, even if it's just like, I mean, Pluto adverse, the moon or Mercury, or even the third house cusp can be some examples. Anyway, now another thing. First I want to get talk about. Well, the next thing I want to talk about actually. Now, let's say Pluto is afflicted in one's natal chart. If it's afflicted natally, well, this could manifest in Pluto-related physical issues and debilitations. Now, in my chart, I have Pluto making a square to my Mercury. Now, this could manifest in some case, like in my case, perhaps this manifested in the difficulty really in having power in the hands and the arms. Pluto can be associated with power. Mercury can be connected with the hands and arms, and also Mercury is associated with nerves as well. Pluto is connected with surgery at some point in time if they have any advanced nerve conduction tests and they're able to actually detect where the nerve damage is precisely. Maybe I may have surgery on it. It wouldn't surprise me if sometime could be in the very late future that something like this could happen with me. Now, in other people's cases, somebody that's got Pluto making an adverse aspect to their natal Mercury, sometimes it could manifest in some kind of obsessive or compulsive behavior. Because remember, medical astrology, it's not just about physical issues associated with the planet, it's also about possible mental ones as well. It could also be, I mean, somebody that's on a big, power trip that might be tied in with a mental illness. I'm sure there are, I don't know the names of them or the name of the illness, but I'm sure there are mental illnesses that are associated with people that just can't seem to have enough power, and somebody that's on a perpetual, power trip. So those are some examples. Now, anyway, now, keep in mind too that transits that involve Pluto can also play a role in the health and the physical body. Now, the thing is, earlier in 2020, transit Pluto made a loose conjunction to Myra Ramirez's natal Neptune. She had made history. She had surgery, which of course surgery can be associated with Pluto, and it was connected with the coronavirus COVID-19, and Neptune in Pisces is a very strongly connected with that, I believe, because Neptune can be about diseases and Pisces can be about ones that can't be eradicated or cured. Now, the thing too is she became the first U.S. double lung transplant recipient. I believe there were others before that, but the first in the United States, and this was likely the first person that had a double lung transplant that was connected with the coronavirus COVID 19. She also has Neptune at least in loose conjunction to her Uranus in her natal chart, so it's not surprising that she was involved in something with this disease, with this coronavirus, that was going to be innovative and pioneering. uh, I mean, you're talking, and other examples could be, I mean, if somebody has, example, transit Pluto making an inconjunct aspect from their sixth house to their ascendant, this could manifest in Pluto-like physical issues, such as, again, something with the bladder or colon, or there might be, I mean, being in Capricorn right now, it could be something like with knee constructive, surgery, or like a knee transplant. Even if you have transit Pluto hitting your ascendant or sun, or even Mars, it could indicate some Pluto issues, physical issues that you may have to deal with at this time. Transit Pluto hitting your North Node. North Node, when it's involved in transit, can be about issues one may have to address or confront. So that could be another example of having to confront an issue that could be health related associated with Pluto. Now, also, too, progressions in the chart that involve Pluto may result or manifest in some kind of health or physical debilitations as well. Now, somebody has, I mean, for example, let's say, going, I mean, for this is a, kind of a morbid example, but when Carl Sagan died, he was a renowned, maybe you may know, like, we believe, astronomer, cosmologist. He was on some series, I believe, called Cosmos. It was a very acclaimed series, and he had, if I'm not mistaken, he had Pluto conjunct his ascendant in his progressed chart when he passed away, sadly. And he really didn't give much, ironically enough, he didn't really give much credence in astrology. Somebody told me that he gave it a little bit more credibility when he passed away, but that's something I don't know, and it's something you'd have to confirm on the internet, do Google search or what have you. But the thing about it is, again, I mean, progressions in astrology can be important as well, and they obviously can't be overlooked. So, and again, like, say, progressed Pluto is in, say you have it as another example. I mean, you have it in, hitting your sun, or your progressed Pluto is by your conjunct your ascendant, or by Mars. It could be some Pluto-related issues, physical ones that you may have to address. So anyway, now another, I mean, also too, Pluto in, say, in synastry can be important as well, because in some cases, in isolated cases, it could result in some Pluto related issues connected with the other person in the synastry aspect. Now, let's say, for example, in synastry, two people have Chiron conjunct Pluto in their synastry. Now, Chiron can be about wounds and suffering. It's not just about emotional wounds, it could be about physical ones as well. Now, it could be in some cases where there might be some, if somebody has Chiron, if two people have Chiron conjunct Pluto in their synastry, well, the Pluto, the Chiron person might cause maybe some suffering, even if it's indirect, like, say, with the person's bladder. It could be maybe encouraging them to be on some diet, or, as far as eating habits, for example, that may lead to some bladder issues, or maybe even some or in some cases it could be, I mean, Pluto is also associated with the sex organs. So another thing is that the Chiron, remember, Chiron person could also be a healer to the Pluto. The Chiron person could be a sexual healer, as an example, or if somebody has something, the Pluto person is dealing with some kind of Pluto debilitations, or difficulties, such as something with the prostate or the bladder or colon, the Chiron person may act as like a physician or healer for those issues. Um, as well. Let's say another example. Let's say that somebody has, let's say two people have the south node conjunct Pluto in astrological synastry. The south node person may drain the person, whether it could be sexual, it could be in a shared resources situation, and or maybe even of power, strip that person of some kind of power in some way, shape, or form. And that could indirectly have, I mean, the shared, if somebody's stripping somebody or draining them in a shared resource situation or even of power, this could have some effect possibly on that person's energy to some degree. It might be mentally taxing as an example. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.